Okay.
Years ago, I was one of the founding members of Pine Mountain Railroad.
Okay.
And we started, basically we got volunteered to become a bluegrass band. We were all tourists, and we were going to a big convention up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And we were having this event for these tour operators. They said, we need to get some music up there. And they said, we can't afford to bring anybody.
Yeah.
And somebody said, well, I heard Jimbo Whaley sings down there. And Kipper Stitt, who was one of the guys, he said, well, I play banjo. And Mike Gwynn said, well, I play bass. And they said, okay, you all are a band. And that's how it was started. I mean, we had no idea.
Well,
and
you know, most of the time, musicians I talk to, they're always saying, you know, it just came together.
That's what
it just happened.
I could play 3 chords on the guitar.
But what
G,
else?
C, and D.
But what else is there?
I had to have an A. So I figured that out real quick. And then so we started, and I don't know how it happened, but we cut this deal to open for Charlie Daniels.
Holy crap.
Well, we practiced about 6 times, and we opened for Charlie Daniels in front of 20,000 people. And we had about a 30, I don't know, we had a 30-minute set, and
you had a good time.
it was good because that's all we could play. It was about 30 minutes without starting to go back through, you know, again.
Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, and so we decided, we started playing some regional contests and stuff, and we won a couple of them. We won one that we would consider to be a big one that happened down in Loudon, Tennessee.
Right.
And when we won that one, we said, let's just try to do this.
Yeah.
And so we started working a little harder, and then through another business that I was in, we worked a deal with Tennessee Pride Real Country Sausage.
Oh, man.
And so if you've heard the commercials,
Yeah.
you know, take home a pound or 2, Tennessee Pride, that's me. It says that. So I'm a pretty famous, that means, whatever, that means nothing.
I think of you when I cook breakfast one morning.
There you go.
Jimbo.
So we started there and cut up, got a record deal that we thought we were on top of the daggone world, you know.
Yeah.
Nominated for Emerging Artist of the Year. Roscoe Morgan and I wrote a song called The Old Radio that was number 3 in the country. And then I sat down with my accountant at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I had left a pretty good paying job, and she told me what I'd made playing music. And I said, well, no, you need to count that again. There's no way.
Something's wrong.
Something's terribly bad wrong. And she said, well, I counted it 5 times. And that's when my wife said, honey, I think that's enough. And I'd been out.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah, I'd been out that year we had played 210 dates, coast to coast in Canada, everywhere. And man, it was a lot of fun, got to do some great things, but my son was starting to play football, he was 7 years old.
Yeah, you need to be there.
And I was ready to go home. And so just on a whim, there's a couple of guys that started that were in Pine Mountain Railroad a couple of different times, just called me. And so we started Greenbrier, and it's been 13 years now that we've had Greenbrier, and man, it's just been a ball.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hear a lot of good things.
Well, we have a lot of fun. We try to be just as entertaining
That's
as we
right.
can
That's what
on
we're
stage.
here for.
That's what we try to do. And you know, it's one of those deals. I learned a long time ago. You're not the songs you play. I was sitting at let me tell it this way. I was sitting at a concert, and it was I won't mention the band name, but it was a big band. I mean, what I considered a big bluegrass band.
Right.
You know, top tier. And some old feller that had paid his money to get in there, he was sitting right behind me because I was there in the front row. I was excited to death. And the old fella says, hey, will y'all play Fox on the Run? And they just absolutely, no, we don't do that. We don't have to do that.
Wow.
And they played, you know, which you know, at that time I didn't think anything about it. And as we got to playing more and more, I realized I'm not playing for the folks that are behind stage. I'm playing for those people that are sitting out there.
Right.
So if we're playing and somebody says, rank stranger,
you're there.
we play a rank stranger.
That's it. That's one of our favorites, buddy.
God forbid if they say, man, I can't. No, they don't say man, I sorry. They say, soggy bottom boys.
Yeah,
and so
you do that.
what do? We just play it. And you know, I never have a set list because who knows what's coming. And we do a lot of cover tunes now. We've got a pretty good splash on YouTube with Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Yeah.
People get blown away. And we just cut an album called We've Got That Covered. And it's 70s and 80s rock and roll tunes, all bluegrass style. So
now see,
it's pretty cool.
That's what people need in this world, okay? I love what the new bluegrass artists are doing. they're coming out and they're making songs their own.
Right.
I'll have to say this about Mountain Faith Band, one of my favorite. That's one reason they have gotten such a following
That's right.
as they have. And they just say, hey, I like that song that way, but let's just change this. Or
That's
let's
it.
do this better.
Yeah.
And that's
Well, I like to say it this way. Every song is a bluegrass song. It just don't
one
know
way
it
or
yet.
another.
It just ain't figured it out. That's what you got to do. Figure them out for
That's
man.
it, man.
So who knows what you know? We play regionally East Tennessee, but we do go out from time to time, and it's cool living there in Pigeon Forge.
Oh yeah.
You know, 11 million people a year come to you.
I understand.
You don't have to go anywhere.
Mhm.
And so all the gas prices and all that stuff, that somebody else they pay them to get to you.
That's right.
So just find somewhere to play there, and that's what we've been really
And there's
lucky
plenty
with.
of places there to play.
All over the place.
Man, it's all over the place.
Yeah, it's all over, it's everywhere down there, and it's a wonderful place to come. I've grown up there. I bought the house that I grew up in from my parents, and I wouldn't have it any other way, man. It's awesome.
Man, that is an incredible
So
story.
it's been great, man. It's
You got to keep going. You're just you're deep now.
when we got to, you know, every year I do a Jimbo Whaley and Friends show.
Yeah.
And I did it, this was my 12th one, and the first one, I wanted just to keep playing music. So I recorded my very first Jimbo Whaley and Jimbo Whaley CD, just the self-titled CD.
Yeah.
And what I did was I sold tickets for $20 a piece, and everybody that came to the show got the CD. So 20
Guys, if you're out there and you want to get a bunch of people to come to your show,
That's it.
That's the way to do it.
There you go. So the first year, about 300 people came, and
Yeah.
I was daggone, I was thrilled. You know, it just paid for my CD. I'm thinking, hallelujah! I don't owe anybody money. So at that show, I sang for the first. I wrote a song called "The Kings of Orbank," and it's about just growing up in East Tennessee and
Right.
Pigeon Forge.
Orbank.
And I thought I'm going to sing this song one time, and I'll never have to do it again after that. So I sung it that night, and when I sung that song, everything changed, and it just sort of took off for me. The next year, we had 800 people come,
Good
and
Lord.
the past 4 years, we've sold out the Country Tonight Theater, 1,500 people the past 4 years. And I said at 10, I said, okay, 10, this is enough. and so then I said, okay, 11. Well, my
You
favorite number is
stopped.
13, so I have to do this coming year. And we do that in March every year. And we pick a charity.
Right.
And what I do is I take $5 a ticket
Sure.
and give it back to a charity.
there's nothing wrong with
man,
that.
it's hilarious to write a check for like $7,500 to somebody, put my name on the bottom of it, and know,
And not have to worry about it.
It's going to clear the bank. So pretty cool.
Man, I tell you what, we've had a ball with you. The good thing is we got to meet you here at the Song of the Mountains tapings. Tim White and all those guys
Yes.
have got the Lincoln Theater spick and span.
Yes.
And this is a beautiful place.
It is.
Tons of history here, and I just get chills every time I walk in here because there's a million things that have gone on within these
Who
walls.
knows what all has happened in here.
Exactly.
You know, and
You're
it's
so right.
The show, we've been waiting for months to get to do this.
Oh, I can imagine.
And we're so excited just to be up here, and everybody at home, you know, we put it on our Facebook account and all that stuff,
Sure.
and they were like, wait a minute, you're going to go do Song of the Mountains?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, yeah, I am, and it's going to be, and they're so excited, so a bunch of them are coming up tonight. We're going to have a great time. And little old Marion, Virginia, this town reminds me of Sevierville, Tennessee when I was
It
little.
does.
And Mama she'd say, boys, get in the car, we're going to town. To town. And it was Sevierville. And so you had the little, you know, my cousin Kevin, and I'll probably put this in a song somewhere, Kevin would always, and who is now the vice mayor of Pigeon Forge, but Kevin would say, hey, let's go over here to the funeral home, see who they got in. He always wanted
my
to go in
gosh.
and look at the people that had died for what it is.
Kevin, you just heard that.
There you go, Kev. Put that on your campaign next time.
Oh my God. Man, it's been a ball.
Thanks, man.
Rick Dollar and Tony Dean. We're
Thank you.
live with Jimbo Whaley.
Thank you. Come see us, Song of the Mountains.